Hello students, we'll start the next portion of this chapter, that is the change of states of matter. So as I told earlier that matter has 5 states, but we will now consider about the 3 states, that is solid, liquid and gas. So students, you know that each state can be changed into the other state. For example, if you heat ice, the ice melts to form water. Similarly, if you heat water, water changes into steam, vapor. So one state of matter can be changed into the other states of matter, means solid to liquid or liquid to gas. So the process of changing one state to another state, the different name is given. So before that, we will do a flow chart. Solid, liquid and gas. So as you know that, as I have told, solid can be changed into liquid. If you heat a solid, then solid changes to liquid, like ice changes to water. This process is called melting, and also it is known as fusion, the process by which solid changes to liquid. Similarly, just reverse we can do. The liquid can also be changed into solid, and the process is known as liquid can be changed into solid is known as freezing or solidification. Like if you keep water in the freezer of your refrigerator, it changes to ice. This process is known as freezing or solidification. Similarly, liquid can be changed into gas. You know that if you heat the liquid, then it will change into gas, and this process is known as boiling, or we can also call it as vaporization. Similarly, the reverse process we can also do, that gas can be converted into liquid by lowering the temperature, and that process is known as condensation. So this is the interchangeable of liquid and gas. Then some solids are there which can directly convert into gas without forming the liquid, and this process is known as sublimation. So some of the, not all solids directly change into gas. So like naphthalene ball, you know, the naphthalene ball, if you keep, normally we keep inside the almirah or inside the cloth, and you will find that the shape of the naphthalene ball decreases. The next year you will find no naphthalene ball is there. It means the naphthalene ball changes into vapor. Similarly, other substances like ammonium chloride we will discuss later. So these are the solid which can directly changes to solid to gas. There is no liquid state of these substances, and if the gas of these substances is cooled, then gas is directly changes to solid, and this process is also known as sublimation, and also it is called deposition. Deposition or sublimation is that gas is directly converted into solid. So student, if you remember this, the flow chart of this 3 state, then you can define all the point which is written. So just I am discussing what is melting or fusion. The process by which solid changes to liquid is called melting or fusion. Similarly, what is freezing or solidification? The process by which liquid changes to solid is called freezing or solidification. Similarly, boiling or vaporization, the definition will be the process by which liquid changes to gas is called boiling or vaporization. Condensation, the process by which gas changes to liquid is called condensation. Then what is sublimation? The process by which solid directly changes to gas or gas directly changes to solid is known as sublimation. But the deposition is called the process by which gas directly changes to solid is known as deposition without changing into liquid. So this is all about the different points, or how can you change one state of matter to other state of matter. So before that, after that we'll read about the 2 points related to this. One is called boiling point and another is melting point. That is melting point, another is boiling point. So students, already we have read the term melting and boiling. So what is melting? The process of changing solid to liquid is called melting. And what will be the definition of melting point? The temperature at which, just you have to add the temperature at which a solid changes to its liquid at atmospheric pressure. Remember, you have to add this word, that is at atmospheric pressure, is called melting point. Because the atmospheric pressure has also a role on the conversion of state. So if atmospheric pressure will change, then the temperature will also change. Means if we take the example that melting point of ice is 0 degree centigrade. You know that at 0 degree centigrade the ice changes into water at atmospheric pressure. If atmospheric pressure will change, then the melting point will not be 0 degree centigrade of ice. So you have to mention the atmospheric pressure. And exactly same thing, if you define the boiling point, just change the state, same definition, same type of sentence, the temperature at which here a liquid changes to its gas at atmospheric pressure. At atmospheric pressure is called boiling point. And here we'll take the example that boiling point of water is 100 degrees centigrade. You know that if you heat water and at 100 degrees centigrade it will change into steam, water vapor. But again you have to think that you have to keep the condition that 1 atmospheric pressure will be there. If atmospheric pressure will change, then boiling point also changes. So another point I want to add in this, the melting point, and another term is called freezing point. You know, freezing point is also a temperature. So when we are telling that melting point and freezing point, if you remember that freezing word, that conversion of liquid to solid. So I can define the freezing point like that, the temperature at which a liquid changes to its solid at atmospheric pressure is called freezing point. So the freezing point of water is also 0 degree centigrade. Means at 0 degree centigrade, water changes to its solid, that is ice, and at 0 degree centigrade, ice also melts to form water. So freezing point of water and melting point of ice is same, that is 0 degree centigrade, but the definition will be different. Here solid changes to a liquid, and here liquid changes into solid. So after that we will read another term, that is called latent heat. We will read about latent heat. Latent heat. The word latent means hidden. This word means hidden. Why it is called hidden heat, we will discuss, but before it we will do one experiment actually. So think about experiment which involves that you will take a beaker, and inside the beaker will keep the ice cubes, okay, and inside that ice cube we will keep a laboratory thermometer, okay. We will keep a laboratory thermometer. You know that two types of thermometer are there. One is called clinical thermometer, another is called laboratory thermometer. So we will take laboratory thermometer here, and the bulb of the thermometer should covered with ice, okay. So you know that this thermometer will record the temperature of the ice. Say the temperature of the ice is -5 degree centigrade, and let this is 0 degree centigrade and this is 100 degree centigrade, okay. So what will happen? So first you will record the temperature of the ice, and it is showing that it is -5 degree centigrade. Then you will heat it. After heating the ice, you will find the temperature in the laboratory thermometer will increase. It will become -5 to -4, -3, -2 and 0. So it will increase, but when it will reach to 0 degree centigrade, then you will find the temperature is not increasing like before. It will remain at 0 degree centigrade for some time. And why it happens to? Why the temperature is not increasing in the thermometer? Because at 0 degree centigrade, the heat supplied to the beaker is actually converting ice into water. So here the heat is not increasing the temperature. Actually the heat is used to change the state, that is ice to water, and that is why it is not recorded in the temperature, in the temperature of the thermometer. That is why it is called hidden heat. So that word latent was coming from this. So latent heat means actually the hidden heat, the heat which is used up to change the state of matter, here from solid to liquid. So if you continue this experiment further, you will find at 0 degree centigrade all the ice now becomes water. The ice will become water, and if you will heat continuously, if you will heat the beaker continuously, if you will again give the heat, what will happen? The temperature will now increase from 0 degree to 1 degree, 2 degree like this, and when it will reach 100 degree centigrade, then you will find the temperature is not increasing in the thermometer, rather the water is going out in the form of vapor. The temperature of the thermometer will not increase, it will remain at 100 degree centigrade, but the water is converted into steam. So here also you can say that here the heat supplied to the beaker is used to convert the state, that is liquid to gas. You cannot find the temperature of the liquid as 101 degrees centigrade. It means that here also latent heat is given, that latent heat is converting water to vapor or liquid to gas. So we can conclude that there are two types of latent heat. One is latent heat of fusion, whereas another is called latent heat of vaporization. So as we have done the we have explained the experiment. At 0 degrees centigrade, some latent heat of fusion is there for ice, and at 100 degrees centigrade, there is latent heat of vaporization. So if you want to define the latent heat of fusion, so it will be like that. The amount of heat required to change 1 kg of a solid into liquid at its melting point and at atmospheric pressure is called latent heat of fusion. Again I am repeating that the amount of heat required to change 1 kg of a solid into liquid at its melting point and at atmospheric pressure is called latent heat of fusion. And if you will compare or if you will define the latent heat of vaporization, just you have to change the state. The other sentence will be remain same, that the amount of heat required to change 1 kg of a liquid into gas at its boiling point at atmospheric pressure is called latent heat of vaporization. So these are the different types of latent heat. So that is two type of latent heat. This is latent heat of fusion and this is latent heat of vaporization. So this is all about the latent heat. Okay, then we'll read about the next part of this chapter, that is units of temperature. Units of temperature. Units of temperature. You know that normally we use the temperature, the different units. There are 3 different units of temperature actually. One is degree centigrade, which we normally also call as degree Celsius case, or we are writing like this. Second, degree Fahrenheit, which is symbolized as F, and the third one is Kelvin scale, that is written as K. So these are the 3 different units we use in our daily life to represent the temperature. but this Kelvin is actually the SI unit of temperature. You know that the standard unit of temperature is Kelvin. Kelvin is the standard unit of temperature, but in our daily life we normally use Celsius and Fahrenheit. So in your syllabus it is given that how one unit can be converted or changes into another unit. So first of all we'll read that how can you changing degree centigrade to Kelvin. How you can change degree centigrade to Kelvin. So when you are changing the centigrade into Kelvin, centigrade to Kelvin, what you have to do, so whatever centigrade is given, if you want to change into Kelvin, so what you have to do, the given centigrade plus you have to add 273, then that will be, the amount will be the Kelvin. I am giving one example here. For example, it is given 100 degrees centigrade. If you want to change into Kelvin, so we have to add 273 to 100. Then it will become 373 Kelvin. So 100 degrees centigrade is equal to 373 Kelvin. So a simple technique is that centigrade, if you want to convert into Kelvin, add 273 to the given centigrade, given amount. So similarly, if it is given minus 50 degrees centigrade, so what you have to do, minus 50 plus 273. So it will be 223 Kelvin. So like that, in your exercise also so many numerals are given based on this changing of centigrade to Kelvin. Then just opposite we can use that, just opposite changing of Kelvin to degree centigrade. So as you know that here you are adding 273 and here you have to, for example, here it is given this much Kelvin. Then if you want to find out, so what you have to do, from that amount you have to minus 2